And I think we're live. What's going on, guys? We had a interview scheduled 11:15 with Keto Chef Max. Unfortunately, I got the time zones mixed up. We're going to have to reschedule that for last week, but I know a lot of you guys were waiting for the interview. I saw there was like 30 of you in the video queue. So I thought we would do a Q&A instead. Can't just leave you guys hanging. So that's what we're doing. So if you guys have questions, let me know in chat. We do have, I know a lot of you guys are new and a lot of you are participating in the 30 under 20 challenge, which if you're unfamiliar is 30 days under 20 net carbs. And I got a little, and you can see here, this is basically what we're sharing on Instagram. Each day, this is the goal, stayed under 20 net carbs. That's really the only main goal that you have to do. That's why it's kind of highlighted. And then some nice to haves, exercise. And honestly, surprisingly, the didn't weigh myself. That seems to be the one most people are not doing. People like weighing themselves every single day. I don't understand why. I think, just taking more of a long-term approach, weighing yourself maybe every week could be good. But go in some periods of time, maybe not letting the weight, especially if it influences how you feel about your diet and stuff, not weighing yourself could be good. So if you guys want to join up with that, we're already on day 11, I believe today is. You can just start behind. That's fine. And then I was just going to show you guys, I think most of you know by now that we have a website, right? KetoConnect.net. This is our website. So this is a new recipe that we just posted today, keto pasta, 3 ingredients. But we do have a lot of good resources, especially for you guys starting out. This is probably the best post on our website right here. New, get started with keto. Super comprehensive. This is hundreds of hours worth of work right in this post right here. So, just you can read through this. Graphics, really easy to follow. Pretty long post, and it links to a bunch of our best posts also. And then another post you may be interested in is the really just simple keto shopping list post, and it links to all of the different keto grocery store specific shopping lists. So if you do all your shopping at Costco, for example, you might want to check that post out. I know a lot of people like Trader Joe's. And this is just really simple and easy, the staple foods. I think that's a good place to start. And also there is, if you're eating out. So here we have all of the different fast food and restaurant posts we've done. And this one here, all of these are linked in the description of the live right now. This is just a comprehensive how to eat out on a keto diet. And another thing we do a lot is product reviews. And people don't like sorting through all of the videos because we've probably done probably like 50 videos by now of product reviews. So you can just go and check out what our favorites are. There's our favorites, and there's also the mail time products, the best reviewed mail time products. So you can check those out too. Okay, looking at the chat here now. I'm seeing bran oil listed in some ingredients. Thoughts on that? Also palm fruit oil. Not sure what that is either. Any help is appreciated. Yeah, I don't even know exactly what bran oil is. My assumption would be it's something to be avoided. I think okay, so it's rice bran oil. So it's oil made from rice. Any sort of industrial oil like that that's heavily processed, like you're taking oil from rice bran. Doesn't seem natural. I would avoid. Palm oil is like, I guess people get some mixed messages on it because it is definitely not great for the environment and just, the quality, the health of the workers that harvest it and stuff, tearing down the rainforest, all that type of stuff. So if you're ethically opposed, I understand that for sure. But as far as the nutrition of palm oil, it's basically the same as coconut oil. So as like including it as part of your keto diet's totally fine. Hello from Stockholm, US East Coast. How's everyone doing? Anyone doing the 30 under 20? A lot of people If you guys were expecting an interview again, sorry, we had to postpone that. Time zone got mixed up. A lot of people sharing on Instagram. This is kind of the whole intention. You share just every day, staying accountable on Instagram, sharing your meals. Instagram's a pretty fun way to just stay accountable and share and meet a community. It's probably the best social media that doesn't just devolve into like negativity as much, although they all kind of do at some point. So yeah, this is fun to just follow the feed. Very low sound. Some people are saying, how's the sound? Am I the only one with no sound? You should be getting sound. I see the sound showing up here. Wait. Let me. When I desktop share, does that hello, hello, hello? You should be getting sound. I'll turn it up a little. Hello, 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 hello. Should be a little louder. Hopefully you guys are hearing me good. More questions here. My question. Someone says 30 under 20. I'm all in. Good to hear it. My question. I did keto for like 2 years, lost 110 pounds. Then the last 6-ish months, I did intermittent fasting where I ate once a day, and I've gained weight. So now I'm back to keto, and this time it isn't working. Yeah, I mean, it isn't working. Like, how long have you been doing it for, I guess? I think you just got to lengthen your time horizon on the results you're expecting, because you've lost 110 pounds. That's pretty, extreme weight loss. Your metabolism obviously took a little bit of a hit along the way. That's just natural with weight loss. So expecting to continue losing after losing 110 pounds, there's going to be temporary plateaus. A lot of the time, what could be a good practice is when you lose such a dramatic amount of weight, 110 pounds, taking some time off, not from keto, but just from like calorie restriction, eat at a maintenance, maybe even eat at a surplus of calories. Do that for like a month or two. Your weight might go up 10 pounds or something. I know it's tough to see that on the scale, but sometimes that's the best path forward so that then you can reset and begin losing weight again. So is the sound good, guys? So that's sort of what I would do. Okay, sounds good, people are saying. Just take a step back and think more long term. What do we got? How many calories is 20 carbs? Well, 20 carbs is 80 calories. Is that what you're asking, though? 4 calories per gram of carbs. Been keto for 2 years, cheated a bit over Christmas, gained 10 pounds, getting strict again. Emotional keto eating makes it hard right now. Yeah, that is sort of one of the tougher elements of eating. It's very emotional for people. There's no real answer to that. It's just what I find is good when you get in that cycle of just emotional eating is changing your environment a little. So doing things that you more like, so you probably associate certain things with, comfort feelings and emotional eating. For a lot of people, it's just like staying home, watching TV, that type of a thing. So if you get out, even if it's cold, you go for like a walk in the cold. You go even to like the store, go shopping for some clothes, or I like to go to the used bookstore. This is a thing I do when I'm just kind of bored and I don't want to work. And I know if I just sit at home, I'll be snacking all day. So I'll take Theo and we'll go to the used bookstore and just like browse for a little while. Just stuff like that. Break the environment a little bit could help. Hi, why did you start doing keto? Were either of you ever overweight? So right now I'm about 185. The highest weight I ever was 225. I was never really overweight. I mostly did it for productivity, focus, just getting more work done. That's my primary reason for doing it. I've been successful doing keto for 3 years and love it. You guys were the first channel I started watching. Feels like we're friends now. Yeah, we get that a lot when we meet people out in the wild that know of our channel. They say that they feel like they're our friends, which is kind of cool. I can't seem to get away from these sparkling waters sweetened with sucralose from Costco. Is drinking 3 or so a day going to keep me from staying in ketosis? Appreciate your videos. No, I don't think it'll keep you from being in ketosis at all, really. My only thought with having like tons of sparkling waters or sweetened waters is it probably just throws off your natural hydration cues a lot. which is already could be an issue, especially if you're just starting keto. Your electrolyte balance and your hydration is just a little off. So I like to do as little of that as possible, just so I'm back and my body's giving me natural thirst cues. But, it's not a big deal. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Heart doctor says palm oil is very bad for the heart. Yeah, so that is the mainstream thinking. The heart doctors will commonly say saturated fat is bad for the heart. You'll have to look into that yourself. I mean, I completely disagree with that. We've been eating high saturated fat diets as humans through all of human history. But that is probably like the current mainstream consensus. But if you read a book like Gary Taub's Good Calories, Bad Calories, he kind of goes into why that's wrong a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I disagree. Let's see. I'm pretty much always under 20, but for the past month or so, I've been logging food and only eating veggies if I want to. I found I've been falling around 30 to 40 total carbs. Yeah, so the challenge is net carbs. So if you're doing 30 to 40 total carbs from veggies, you're probably well under 20 net carbs. And usually, if you're eating natural foods, it'll be like 20 net carbs is usually comparable to like 50 total carbs. Question about fatty meats. Thomas DeLauer says to buy lean meats. That way you can control the quality of your fats. What is your opinion? Kind of mixed opinions. I think there's definitely some truth to that. Like if you're really trying to figure out what's the cheapest, like if you're on a strict budget, what's the cheapest way to up your food quality? I would say it's maybe, but lean meats aren't that cheap is the thing, because we think they're like chicken breast. That's kind of more expensive than chicken thighs, for example. But like the cheapest source of good quality fat at the grocery store is probably going to be grass-fed butter. So are you better off nutritionally eating like chicken breast and grass-fed butter, or like 80-20 ground beef from Walmart, like the really cheap stuff? I don't know. It's sort of a toss-up. I think if you're eating red meat, the quality of the fats is pretty good just because of the way fat works with ruminant animals. But when you start getting to like poultry and pork, then I would say what he's saying makes more sense. I'm kind of mixed on that. I don't know what to think. I think your best bet for cheap, good quality is what I just mentioned, or if you're on a strict budget, buying the 80-20 ground beef at Walmart, that's a pretty good option. Compared to like cheap chicken, like you're better off buying cheap red meat, ruminant animals, beef and lamb, than you are like poultry or pork. Let's see, guys. What do you got? Is it okay to have the Mission Tortillas, the low-carb ones? Yeah, it's really... I'll pull them up on screen here one sec. Mission low-carb tortillas. I don't eat them personally, and they do, I believe, contain wheat, right? But it's all a matter of... It's all a matter of where you're at and what your goals are. So yeah, 19 carbs, 15 fiber for one tortilla. I don't like eating crazy high amounts of fiber like that. That's me personally. So this is only 4 net carbs, and you can really fill these things up with a lot of good keto friendly food. So if you love Mexican food, to me, yeah, I mean, these are fine. Is it a great food to be having? No, not really. So here's the ingredients: water, modified wheat starch, enriched bleached flour. So this kind of falls under the dirty keto category for sure. A little bit of vegetable oils. So what I usually will look at, because this is to me really like the biggest red flag, is the vegetable oils. So I'll just see there's vegetable shortening in here. Okay. How much of that am I really getting when I eat this? So if we go to the nutrition panel here, there's only 3 grams of fat total. So you can kind of assume you're getting 3 grams of vegetable oils per tortilla. Not a ton, not the worst thing in the world, especially if it's helping you stick to the diet. Because a lot of people, perfection is the enemy of just doing a good, sound diet a little bit better than they did yesterday. So if I think that's the mistake more people make. They're trying to hone in on perfection before they're even, getting the basics down. So I'm pretty on board with those tortillas. Let's see here. Can you drink isolate whey protein? Does it spike your blood sugar? You can drink it. I usually don't just drink it in a protein shake. I'll make recipes with it sometimes for desserts like mug cakes. Does it spike your blood sugar? I mean, it'll raise your blood sugar a little bit, but that's what protein does. That's what it's supposed to do. Spike is sort of a word that people just throw around when it pertains to blood sugar. So like bread and sugar spikes your blood sugar. In relation to those, whey protein doesn't really spike your blood sugar. But you can also test this stuff too. All you need is a glucose monitor, which is about $15. Why are you wearing those Monster headphones? I guess I don't really need to, but sometimes my tabs, they just start, having sound playing and then I don't notice. So I like to have them on just in case that happens and you guys start hearing the sound. How's keto different from a no-carb diet? Well, a no-carb diet would be a keto diet. But no carb, people call it a carnivore diet, but back in the day it was a zero carb diet. That's what everyone called it. But yeah, a zero carb diet fits under a keto diet. Allulose is better than erythritol. If you haven't tried allulose, you are missing out. I'm coming around to that perspective more and more. At least digestively, it seems to be a little bit better. It tastes more like sugar also. Erythritol has a little bit more of an aftertaste. Let's see, guys. Your sister's pumpkin mug cake is the bomb. Yeah, my sister has some funny recipes. Healthiest lunch meats or sliced meats? I like a lettuce wrap with cheese, bacon, and pepperoni and some chipotle aioli. The healthiest lunch meats are sliced meats. Yeah, just at the grocery store, they're not going to have any like really great quality ones. I think you're fine with pretty much any of the stuff though. The biggest question mark there would be the chipotle aioli. Like, is it made with vegetable oil? That would be my first thought. What's the difference between carbs and net carbs? Can you explain? That's what messes me up. It's really simple. Net carbs just subtracts fiber. Fiber is not really the same as starches and sugars, so it makes more sense to subtract them than it does to include them if you're trying to get an accurate just representation of how well you're adhering to a keto diet. So, for example, we can look back at this nutrition label here. Where was it? Right here. We can look at the nutrition label. Just subtract the dietary fiber from the total carbs. So this would be 4 net carbs. Some people like to track total carbs too. You can do both. I think keeping tabs on both could be a good idea. Shoot for like 50 total, 20 net. If you're hitting both of those, you're doing a pretty good job, I would say. There's a new tortilla that's 1 net carb called Mr. Tortilla. Just ordered it the other day. Oh, you'll have to let me know how that is. Sorry, I'm skipping around a little bit here in the questions. If you're... No, let's see. Back on keto after losing a bunch, then gaining most of it back. I feel great, but just the thought of being on keto for the rest of my life is daunting. How do I plan for long-term success? That is, yeah, you're grasping for... I made a video on this to start the year, kind of like a lot of people, they do start diets and they think it's a temporary thing and then they're going to get back to their old ways. But you have to realize your old ways is what led you to your current predicament. So, I mean, you don't have to like totally stick to keto lifelong, but you definitely have to make certain changes, right? And I think the easiest way to stick to it long term maybe could just be making the link and focusing more on how you feel as opposed to your weight or just some goals that don't really matter as much. But just waking up every day feeling good and wanting to continue having that feeling and eating in order to achieve that goal, that's a good way to make it last long term. I mean, what is it? Kind of like dig down a few layers too. Like, what is it that is making it feel daunting to you? Is it the thought of like not having a certain food? Is it the thought of eating out with your wife or something? Like, what is the actual next level? Why are you feeling that it's so daunting? And then come up with a plan maybe that takes that into account and is more of a long-term thing. Because you're better off doing, like 90% keto for a long time than doing 100% super strict keto and then losing weight, regaining weight, doing that, cyclically. What else do we got here? You need to focus on insulin responses. I mean, you don't really have access to tools that can gauge insulin responses, though. So that's why blood glucose is sort of used as a proxy for insulin. That's the best way to do it at home. Can you eat too much liquid stevia? I think you can do too much of everything, right? You can drink too much water. Of course, you can have too much stevia. How much is too much, though? That's hard to say. Only reason I can't stick to keto is I can't replace a coffee with 2 sugars. It really is kind of tough. Coffee with sugar in it is one of the great pleasures in life. But I mean, you can come up with some things that substitute pretty well. Stevia is pretty good. I mean, once you get used to it. The first time I tried stevia, I hated it, but now I'm used to it. Can you and Dr. Berg be in an arm wrestling contest? I am not a great arm wrestler, but I'm pretty sure I would beat Dr. Berg. That'd be fun, though. Doing keto while in menopause helped me lose 7 pounds. I gained, but at a standstill. Any suggestions? You lose the 7 pounds that you gained. Same thing. I think there's going to be some standstills. You just got to maintain for long periods of time, and the weight eventually will take care of itself. I guess how long of a standstill is one question. It gets a little tougher, for women, for elderly. Both of those are obviously going to factor in. Like, you're not going to be able to lose weight the same way a 22-year-old man would. But, yeah, I think just focusing on sustainability for the long term. I know no one really wants to hear that. Have you had the Chipotle cauliflower rice bowl? No, but we're going to do a review video of it soon. We were thinking maybe we do that today. Have you had it? How do you like it? After the 30 days, 20 grams of total carbs, how much carbs are we allowed to stay on the keto diet / lifestyle? Well, I wouldn't think of it in those terms of what we're allowed. You should think of it as it's your body to experiment with as you see fit, what best suits whatever goal you're trying to achieve. So if you're like 200 pounds overweight, you want to lose weight, being pretty strict on the low carb aspect makes sense. If you're if you're like a 12% body fat CrossFit athlete, then there's probably more of a case to be made for experimenting with a little higher carbs, potentially seeing how you feel. But yeah, after 30 days, I mean, I did keto like pretty strictly. I don't even think cheating at all for like at least the first 18 months. And then we tried different things like cyclical keto. We've experimented more, but I feel usually the best when I'm just pretty strict keto, but I'm not super active. I exercise every day, but it's not like that intense. What do you think about the book End Your Carb Confusion? Is that the one? Is that Dr. Westman and Amy Berger's book that we interviewed them? Yeah, that's End Your Carb Confusion. We interviewed them about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Go back on our channel and look for that interview. It's really good. I think the book's good. I would pick it up. Have you noticed the carbs are completely off on Body Armor drinks? They don't take into account the sugar substitutes. Body Armor drinks. I've never had one. Are these are really like starting to become more and more popular. What's the deal with these? The light sports drink, is that the one? No artificial sweeteners, no sugar added. Low calorie, is this what we're talking about here? That says 21 grams of carbs, so that can't be it. Is there one that's low carb here? I'm not familiar with this company. Maybe sports drink? There must be like a 0 calorie one, right? No, that's not it either. I'm not sure. Let me know if I'm missing something. Maybe you can link it in chat. And a $25 Canadian donation. Is Canadian currency worth more than US dollars these days? Thank you for all your help. Thank you. What's the exchange rate? Canadian to US dollar. I think Canadian's worth more, right? 1 Canadian dollar equals 0.79 US dollars. So that was almost like a $33 donation or something. Wow, thank you. Chipotle rice was delicious. Okay, that sounds good. We'll try that. A lot of people I saw reviewing it and saying it wasn't great, or at least that's what Mega told me. Oh, I missed a donation here. Michael Fedler. Just wanted to thank you for everything you do. I recommend you guys to everyone. Even my doctors watch you now. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Westman actually told us this too. He sends his clients to like our videos, like our recipes. He just says, make this. This is really easy to make. It's cool to see the impact, which you don't really realize because all I know is we post stuff on YouTube. Some people watch it. I've found that keto has had tremendous benefits for my discipline. All the other stuff is cool, but I feel like my life is more structured. Yeah, it definitely does. I think a lot of it, especially discipline around food, is just that you're off the blood sugar roller coaster, so you have so much more control. Because when we feel like we're out of control with food, it's usually blood sugar related a lot of the time. Sometimes it's just like habitual or for comfort, but a lot of the time it's like you have this thought. It's like if you were just stronger and more disciplined, you wouldn't reach for whatever it is. But really, you don't have a lot of control actually in that moment when you're reaching for the stuff. It's all the stuff you're doing leading up to that moment. So like when you'll notice when you have a really busy work day and like you do like 2 or 3 times harder work that day than you do usually, you'll come home and your willpower will just be lower and you're more likely to cheat. After becoming fat adapted, how soon can you lower your fat intake and let the fat from your body be used instead? Or does it even work like that? It kind of works like that, but I mean, it's calories. It's not really like dietary fat. So you got to think just in terms of calorie deficit, I guess. And the best way to create a calorie deficit on keto is probably to lower the fat a little bit. It's sort of, you want to primarily be thinking about adhering to the diet long term. So if you lower your fat like 10 or 20 grams per day, are you feeling way hungrier? Like you're going to eventually fall off? Because feeling hungry, that's like the first signal. You can push through it for a while, for a couple weeks. But when you're chronically feeling hungry and you're feeling like you need to push through the discomfort to stick to your diet, eventually that's going to end and you're not going to be able to push through. So I would just keep that in mind as I lower the fat. But like to get sufficiently fat adapted, it's tough to say because it's different for everyone depending on your dieting history, your metabolic health. But like, you know, to be super safe, I would say like 2 months, 3 months would be a good amount of time. Even less, 2 months maybe. Keto death match, Mega versus Dr. Berg. Who would win? I think Dr. Berg would win that one. Mega will definitely get feisty, but yeah, Dr. Berg's Mega's really small. Dr. Berg's a pretty tall guy. I think he's like maybe 6 feet. Yeah, he's like 6 feet tall. What else do we got here? Found the Chipotle rice bowl to be a bit salty. I'll be the judge of that. What can I do to kick my carb cravings? Haven't given in yet and don't want to, but last few days are making me crazy. Didn't deal with this last time. Yeah, that's sort of a tough question because it's really, I guess there's two approaches, and I don't have a really good advice on what's better. You can have like replacement foods, like Quest bars, make keto desserts from our website. Mug cakes is one of my favorites. If you guys don't know, really easy after dinner recipe. On our food blog, if you search for mug cake, these are all like really good after dinner. They take 5 minutes or less to make. The best one, the one I make most often is this one. I make the nutritious version. We haven't updated this post in a long time, but the recipe's still there, I think. Yeah. The one I make is this one. The protein powder mug cake. If you use whey protein, it's a little dry, but if you use like a milk concentrate or a whey concentrate as opposed to whey isolate, it's a little bit more fluffy. But this is my favorite. You can see it's 0.5 gram of carbs. That's good for after dinner treats. So you could do something like that, or you can just power through, which is another good approach too. It depends on the type of person you are. Powering through, it's going to take probably like a week or two to get completely over the carb cravings. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? What's the better approach? People are pretty strong in their opinions on this. I'm not sure what the best approach is, honestly. I bought a 3-pound IsoPure 0-carb protein cookies and creams flavor because you and Mega said it was your favorite. Now I need recipes. Yeah, that's one right there. I just showed you. That's a good one. You can make fat bombs. We have a fat bomb recipe using it too on our website. What happened there? Okay. My friend recently asked me to help them get into the diet, and the first thing I'm doing is pointing them to your channel website. Thank you. How about you versus Thomas DeLauer in an arm wrestling contest? I think we know the answer. It's amazing. Chipotle bowl plus $2. Yeah, these Chipotle bowls are going to end up costing $20. That's a good sort of bet. When's the first $20 Chipotle bowl going to be purchased? Because I already add avocado. Is that $2, I think, or a little less maybe? I'm going to add Chipotle rice, so that's another, or what's it called? Cauliflower rice. So another $2. So we're looking probably like $15 range. I get double protein. So yeah, that's probably like $15. I'm currently getting my MS in sports science and rehabilitation and nutrition. I have a minor in exercise science. I'm a PT and currently getting my keto nutrition certification. Also a laboratory scientist in my full-time job. Wow. Quite the credentials. Okay, let's do a few more here, guys. Canadian is worth less? No, it's worth more, isn't it? I just looked it up. $1 is $1 Canadian dollar. Yeah, it's 19.7. Oh, is it? Wait. We got to get to the bottom of this. Canadian CAD to USD. 1 Canadian. Oh, I'm a dum-dum. Okay, yeah, you guys are right. Yeah, okay. I read that wrong. Dr. Westman is a gift. He really is a gift. Because, yeah, it's easy. I guess when I watch other YouTube channels and I engage in discussions online in nutrition, it's easy to just get caught up in like all this stuff that doesn't matter so much. And then when you talk to Dr. Westman, it's just like, oh, you just eat under 20 grams of net carbs. That's all you have to do. It's really simple. And it kind of realigns you. So I like talking to him every once in a while. When it comes to meat, does everything have to be organic? Is non-organic meats dangerous for our health? Organic to me with meats is not really a big deal, because what does organic mean when it comes to meats? It means that the animal is eating organic feed. Typically, that means it's eating like organic soy and corn. So organic in a sense is kind of a bad thing. I mean, it's not a bad, it's better than non-organic feed that has like, a bunch of pesticides on it. But what's better is pasture raised, grass fed, grass finished. Those are more of the things you want to look for as opposed to organic. Organic with meat to me is kind of meaningless. Is non-organic dangerous for our health? Everything's on a spectrum. So like, I would say no, it's not really dangerous for your health. It's not as good as grass fed, but is it way better than most of the stuff you can buy at the grocery store? Yes. And you have to kind of think of the pros and cons, the incremental gains you're getting. So like if you go from conventionally raised meat to organic meat, is that like a 10% benefit? It's not a 50% benefit. The benefit's pretty marginal and you're paying maybe twice the amount of money. So like I do that. I pay the extra, but it doesn't make sense for everyone to do that. So you just have to, kind of go based on what your current situation is and don't feel like you need to spend the money on grass fed. Any ideas on long-term food to store for preppers? Man, are you guys, I'm not a prepper at all, first off, but the thought has crossed my mind more this past year than ever before. Is that the same with you guys? Let me know. Cause like, oh, Mega's watching. She said I would win hands down. Has prepping crossed your mind more, even for you non-preppers out there? But ideas for the best. So the best thing is going to be pemmican. You're going to want to learn how to make pemmican. You could have you could store pemmican to fill this room. You can live exclusively off of pemmican. The only thing you're not going to be getting is vitamin C. So like pemmican and vitamin C tablets. That's pretty much all you need. You can look online how to make pemmican. It's a little bit of a process, but it lasts forever. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. It was like a Civil War ration. Like we have a long history of eating pemmican. That's one thing you could do. And I was reading this book, 1776. They would live exclusively off of pemmican, basically, and like dried peas. And then the only vitamin C they would get would be porter beer. So like beer was their vitamin C. Pretty crazy. But yeah, that's what I would do. You could get like canned vegetables and stuff, but I don't know when you're thinking, so you take a can of vegetables, if space is an issue, a can of vegetables, it takes this much space. You're getting maybe 100 calories from it, like peas or something. Not really that worthwhile to store. When you have this much pemmican, that's like 1,000 calories, 2,000 calories. So that's really where it's at. You can order it online too. What do we do to get our questions answered? Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of skipping around, so I might miss some. We got a $2 donation. What are your thoughts on the Sola 2 gram of carb bread? We have tried it, I think. I don't remember how it tastes, but I'm just going to pull up the nutrition here. So it's $8.95, which is kind of standard for keto breads. So water, wheat gluten, modified wheat starch. I don't even know what this is. Olive oil, olive pomace oil. Soy flour is in there. So ingredients, like by and large, it's kind of average for keto breads. Not terrible, not great. I do like that it doesn't have a crazy high amount of fiber. It's low calorie, which is a pro or a con, depending on how you're looking at it. You're kind of paying a lot of money for not a lot of calories. That's the con. But yeah, it's decent if you like it. I don't remember how it tastes. So if it tastes good, then yeah, it seems reasonable. Let's do a few more here, guys. Is Redline bad for keto? Is Redline that one energy drink that has just a crazy amount of caffeine? I mean, Redline is bad for human health. Caffeine Informer. The Extreme has 250 milligrams, which is actually lower than a lot of these energy drinks out there today. I mean, it's probably fine for keto, assuming it's a 0-calorie version. I wouldn't really drink it personally. Just a lot of caffeine. Does anyone else not supplement electrolytes and force water intake and feel fine? I've never supplemented and rarely feel bad. I think that's definitely possible. I guess it depends on your diet, though. Are you salting your food a lot? Do you get a lot of potassium from your diet? Those are some of the variables. Thank you for the histamine info. I have some sinus problems. That might be the issue. Yeah, it's really what's helped me. I do have some sinus issues. I had a deviated septum surgery like 4 or 5 years ago. Eating less like preserved foods, so like sardines, cheese, even like leftovers, stuff like that. Just reducing the amount of that, because for a while I would just all my lunches would be foods like that. It would be like, sardines, cheese, like that's just like a ton of histamines. So if you are having some sinus issues, you could look at that. And then also we run our air conditioning and heater a lot at our house. So a humidifier could be decent too, because the air conditioning and the heater like sucks out all the humidity from the air. One sec, I'm getting a bunch of notifications here. Will homemade bone broth break a fast? Yeah, bone broth breaks a fast in general, but why are you fasting? You got to answer that question first, and then that'll help. What systems are you using to broadcast? I use Streamlabs. It's kind of, it takes some getting used to, but it's pretty powerful now that I'm kind of proficient with it. Non-organic keto is better than organic standard American diet. I don't even think organic standard American diet's an option. But yeah, I agree with the sentiment. Why am I extra hungry on keto or very low carb? Thanks. Well, are you eating enough food? You got to eat more. Okay, I think I'm way behind here. Keto alcohol people are asking about. Yeah, we have a couple videos. We have a blog post. If you go to ketoconnect.net and search alcohol, basically wines are pretty okay as long as they're not sweet wines. Liquors are pretty much all acceptable except for the super sweet ones. You'll know which those are. And then beers are not the best. There are some low carb beers that are like Michelob Ultra. It's like 2.4 grams of carbs. But the thing with that is the alcohol content's also really low. So I'm almost of the opinion if you're going to drink beers, you might as well just get like a 11% stout or something and drink one of them as opposed to drinking like 6 Michelob Ultras. That's my approach. I would prefer that if you do want to do beers, but you're better off not doing beers and doing liquor and wine. Sodium, potassium, and magnesium during fasting. 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of salt for sodium, a pinch of tartar for potassium. Is this right? Do you have suggestions for magnesium? I've never done the cream of tartar for potassium. I don't really know how much potassium is in that. Let me see. The sodium seems fine. You just got to remember that, okay, so a teaspoon of cream of tartar is 500 milligrams. So a teaspoon of sodium. Wait, what did you say here? Let me see. A teaspoon of salt. What is it? Is that like 5 grams? Six grams. So a teaspoon of salt, that's 2,500 milligrams of sodium or so, because salt is about 40% sodium. Yeah, it seems decent what you're doing. Do you have suggestions for magnesium? I just take a pill to supplement. Magnesium glycinate is what I take. I mean, what you're doing is probably on the high end of what you need and is maybe what people should do when they first start keto. If you've been doing it for a long time, like I don't do anything like that. I salt my food. I sometimes supplement potassium, rarely. I usually try getting it from diet, and then I supplement magnesium like every other day. Prepping cannabis jerky? How do you do that? Okay, one or two more here, guys. We just moved from Texas to Alaska, and we're having to take vitamin D during winter months. Is there a certain brand or type that you recommend? The one we get is just LiveWise brand on Amazon. I just make sure that it's a D3 K2 combo because you want to have them both so that it's better absorbed. And then I usually take it with food, with a meal. Where is his guest? I'm just joining now. We had to cancel that time mix-up, so I'm just doing a Q&A instead. What is your opinion on Wim Hof breathing? Yeah, so I've actually been doing it for the past maybe 3 or 4 months. And I do it on and off, and I think my opinion is it helps, but it's a lot of placebo, and it makes you feel good for short periods of time. So I can see why a lot of people are attracted to it, because you definitely do feel like you're in a heightened state for the 30 minutes after doing the breathing. I don't know that it has any kind of real big lasting impact though, but I'm willing to be convinced otherwise. I'm not sure. What else do we got here? I'm on my 7th day of quarantine from COVID and 52 undisabled. I was on keto 7 weeks, lost 19 pounds. Is it okay for me to do low carb? I don't know that there's a situation where it's not okay for you to do low carb. Just a natural human diet makes sense in every context to me. So I don't know when it would not be appropriate. Have you tried any low carb seltzers? We have tried a few. They're okay. Not my favorite. A lot of people like them though. Okay, guys, I think that's gonna do it. Yes. Okay. We'll have some more interviews coming next week. Hopefully, we get Keto Chef Max on. We got a recipe video coming today. Again, guys, if you're new and you have questions, just check out these 3 posts. I linked all of these 3 in the description of this video. Beginning keto, keto shopping list, and now we're on the low carb mug cakes. But yeah, check out that recipe. This is a sneaky great recipe. Both of these. This is the one Mega makes more. This is the one I make more. But the fast food guides as well here. And that's going to do it, guys. We'll be back